Guardiola's football is dead. That's what the mainstream media will have you believe.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
That's a load of bollocks once again being pumped into the mainstream media. Don't forget, this isn't the first time because it's right in time for Halloween as well. A bit of zombie resurrection from Pep Guardiola's ideologies, because back in 2012 they said the same thing when Fernando Torres went through on goal, making Gary Neville orgasm on national television back in 2012. Pep's ideology died. And of course back in 2016 when Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid knocked out Pep Guardiola's Bayern Munich, Pep's ideology died. Matty Cash sinking Manchester City, Pep Guardiola's Manchester City in 2025, Pep's ideology died. Once again we're hearing the absolute dross coming out of the mainstream media. This time it's this bloke. I know Manchester City fans are going to be all too familiar with that face. I'm not even going to name him. Because that's what he wants. That's what these guys want. It's what the mainstream media want. That's why these journalists are turning to the likes of YouTube, because they see fans like myself and other content creators, fantastic content creators that are a million miles better than me. And even someone as simple as me can end up making content that gets a reasonable amount of views. Nothing special, but I get by. Do you know what I mean? So they think, well, if he can do it, I can do it. Well, seemingly not. Racking up 700 views with your absolute bollocks article attacking Manchester City once again. But YouTube's where it's at right now. So that's where the mainstream media turn to. And these journalists are doing exactly the same. Just whip your camera out, whip your microphone out. Dead easy, innit? Super easy on YouTube, no problem. But one thing is true, football is changing right now. So it isn't a case of Pep Guardiola's ideologies are dead. Far from it. Football, though, absolutely is changing. But how is Pep Guardiola adapting? So far this season, this is the percentage of goals that have been scored from corners. A huge amount, 18.7% of goals in total are coming from corners, which is a massive outlay. But don't forget throw-ins on the whole. Throw-ins are a massive part of the game right now. It's not just corners. Set pieces on the whole, statistically, they've gone up as well. This is the percentage of set piece goals scored in total. Looking at 2025 to 2026 season, comparing that for the average, going all the way back to 2015, it has gone up. Goals across Europe are changing in style in terms of the way to score goals, most importantly. It isn't just the Premier League. Across all the big 5 European leagues, their numbers have gone up too, by quite some. And this is compared to last season. Still leading the way, the Premier League. They were last season and they are this season. But look at the jump in the percentage of goals being scored from corners. The Premier League has shot up, the Bundesliga's shot up, Serie A's shot up, La Liga's shot up, Ligue 1 has shot up as well. All of the big 5 European leagues, their numbers have shot up from set pieces. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think there's a right way to play football. Pep Guardiola clearly has ideologies, clearly has a certain way of playing, but I do think it's underestimated what he does from set pieces, namely in defending. That's the key factor here, is how to defend. And how is it going to look when Manchester City are playing this style of football, the similar style of football that we are changing in certain ways, but there are other elements to Manchester City's game that have been added to, the likes of Haaland and Donnarumma. Those two play for Manchester City. So let's have a look at the league table. So no surprise to see Arsenal top. I am a little surprised to see Chelsea up there in second place with 8 goals, only 1 behind Arsenal. Spurs, there's a big drop there actually between Chelsea and Spurs. Spurs with 5 goals and then Leeds, Brighton, Bournemouth, but all the way down at the bottom with 0 goals scored from set pieces. Manchester City. We are not scoring goals from set pieces. So I can hear the cogs turning. I can feel the narrative being generated. Oh, Manchester City, they're falling behind. They don't know what they're doing. They are not getting with the times in terms of set pieces. But aren't we the top goal scorers, joint top goal scorers at least, in the league? Haven't we scored the most goals from open play as a result of that? If we've scored 0 from set pieces, yet we have scored the most joint in the Premier League, then surely there's an element of our play that is still very much working. But set pieces don't just require attacking, they require defending. So how are we looking in that regard? Not too shabby. We are joint best with 4 other teams, Burnley, Brentford, Brighton and Spurs, all of which have only conceded 1 goal from a set piece, whereas Arsenal, they've conceded more than Manchester City from set pieces. In fact, they've only conceded 3 goals in total, 2 of them from set pieces. So that's a huge amount of percentage that is being conceded from set pieces. So you live by the set piece, you die by the set piece, seemingly so for Arsenal, which I find a very interesting concept. But the fact that we're not conceding, and don't forget, we have been away to the Emirates. We have been away to Brentford, and we were so close to coming away with a 1-0 win from the Emirates Stadium, and it took an open play goal from Arsenal to beat us, and a mistake from City in the process as well. Brentford, renowned for their unbelievable coyote throw-ins being launched into the box, failed to score against Manchester City. So that to me is a positive, surely, that Manchester City are the top goal scorers in the league, and we are capable of defending set pieces, which is the strengths of everybody else apparently in the league. Everybody else's strengths, our strength is defending against their strengths. Yet we are still able to score from open play as well, which I think that bodes well, surely. The 1 goal we have conceded from a set piece was a Matty Cash goal that I would argue had a huge element of luck involved, unintentional. Here you can see the short corner being taken. Morgan Rogers, clearly the indication is for him to come into that little pocket and be fed that ball. They look for it and they get it wrong. It overhits it. He's clearly trying to control that ball, fails to do so. And then Matty Cash picks up the loose pieces. Great play from Bernardo Silva to get out as quickly as he did. And a good touch from Matty Cash. Matty Cash brings it inside onto his weaker left foot. And then bang, from that position, that was a 0.06 XG, which resulted in Manchester City losing the game. 6% chance of that ending up in the back of Manchester City's net. It's unfortunate. You can't do much about it. You can't really look at Manchester City's defensive problems in there because there weren't any. Bernardo Silva got out to him so quick. You know, defensively, we were sound. Donnarumma's got no chance. There's a sea of Manchester City players in front of him. So there's very little we could have done about defending that set piece. That's just the small margins of Premier League football, unfortunately. But over the course of the season, these ideologies will rise to the surface. The Manchester City, albeit we seemingly aren't able to score from set pieces, and if we can tick that box as well, just imagine what we could do. Because we need to improve in that regard. We've hit the woodwork so many times from set pieces, by the way. So many. But ultimately, if we can defend against what is the Premier League's strengths, then who knows where we can end up, because we are not having a problem scoring from open play. We are the top goal scorers in the Premier League, don't forget. I still think there's gears to go through. There's still lots of positivity. I still believe we're in a title race. It's not over yet. It's not looking easy. We've got work to do. I think winger consistency is our biggest flaw this season. Having consistent wide players that are going to deliver in the G&A department as well. Huge question marks, but still lots to be positive about, and you need to shit all over the narrative that some fools put into the media. It's dross, it's drivel, it's bollocks. And they've tried and tried and tried to shoot down Pep Guardiola out of bitterness and jealousy. And they're doing it again. Let them do it, but laugh at them in the process. Absolute bollocks. Blues, I won't be doing a watch-along tonight. I'm going to the game to Swansea, so I will not be able to do a watch-along, but I will be back for Bournemouth. That game is massive. That game is huge. We have to bounce back, because even if we beat Swansea tonight, ultimately, it's not considered a bounce back, is it? Because we're expected to beat Swansea. But beating Bournemouth, who are ahead of us in the league table right now, everything could change in the blink of an eye. Big performance is needed. Massive, massive result is needed. Blues, let me know your thoughts. Like and subscribe to Typical City, and I'll see you in the next one.
This is Typical City now, holding up silverware.